Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
There they are, getting older each year. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
All right, I noticed people will notice your iMac is turned off back there. I used to say hello again, but it was whining.
Yeah,
what do you think
there's
was whining? Some kind of electrical
fan.
interference. The
No,
fan.
it's a fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very high pitched.
Yes. Yep. That's why I was concerned. So yeah, I'll replace it with a different iMac next week. So
does that mean it's giving
whatever.
out? Do you think the fan? That's not a normal sound.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure it could use a fan replacement, something a bit quieter, one of those Silent X ones or something. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Good morning to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Why don't we just start the show for real?
All right. Real talk.
All right.
Let's start the show.
Let's start. Let's go in 3. Well, let's try that again. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 615 for June 19th, 2022. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
How you doing?
Good. Happy Father's Day. I know that you're just a fur dad the way I am.
I once was.
Oh, once was?
I guess you still are.
Right?
No, we're in between puppies.
Well, I've got 5 cats, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed. Not one of them got me a present for Father's Day.
Not even a half alive mouse or anything like that. Do they do that?
A hairball, perhaps? No, because they're just they are inside cats.
So if they did deliver,
let's hope they don't bring me anything.
Well, let's hope they do. If they're running around,
either way, sure, yeah.
You didn't adopt those kittens you found at the top of the stairs last week?
No,
this week.
No. We saw them running around with their mom earlier, but yeah, 5 cats. We have 5 cats. I don't need more cats. Yes.
No, nobody needs more than 5. Okay, you can't say that about Max, of course. There's no upper limit. Nope. Okay, well,
here, sure. Okay.
That's true. We've been talking about it for a long time about zeroing in on iOmega. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about iOmega, specifically the zip drive. Really, the zip drive. We'll talk a little bit about before and after and what became, but for us Mac users, really mostly about the zip drive and its various instantiations. So we've got that. We've got eBay files. We got a little bit of news, and I think that's it. So we'll be right back with some eBay finds. All right.
Yes, cats feel that being in their presence is present enough. You are so right. Cats are such divas that way. Yes. All right. Let me find my eBay window.
All right.
You
ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, eBay finds last week that Macintosh. Well, didn't really say Macintosh. It was just Apple Computer playing card, a single card. I forget what the suit was. Something 7 of clubs or something like that. Just in an acrylic display case. That one sold. Can you believe it? They accepted a best offer. It was really $149, and it sold for. This is what's weird. They don't tell you what it was sold for. It just has a line drawn through 149. I don't know what that. It doesn't mean that it was sold for $149 necessarily. So I don't
Sure,
know.
right.
You'd think that they would report what it sold for, would you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, anybody else know that this? What does that mean? Best offer accepted, and it has a line to the 149 as if it wasn't sold for. So I don't know. Beats me. Let's see. What else have we had? The Mac Plus with the Brainstorm Accelerator, fully working. I think this one needed a keyboard and a mouse maybe to complete the set, but it's still available for $99.99. Fair price. 2 days to go. Place your bid. And then the very nicely painted black G3 desktop, still available. $100 is your buy it now. All right. Look at this. This was anybody remember the 2VI? It's okay if you didn't, because it lasted all of 4 months. 2VX didn't last much longer. The two
I
were
can't believe
announced
it still
together.
had the CD caddy in this
Yeah.
model. Wow.
Yeah. They're both announced at the same time. The difference just being the clock speed difference primarily. And the future is built in, according to the poster. This was an advertising poster, probably in a dealer, showing off. And they show just one. I don't know. Can you zoom in there? Is it actually the VI or the VX in the poster? I can't tell. VX.
It looks like the VX. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Sharp little illustration. I had never seen this one before, and that somebody had this around for so long. Looks like in mint condition.
Really, yeah, it's
Measures
got one
24
tear in the
inches
upper
by 36.
right corner. It's missing a
It does.
chunk of
Oh
paper.
yeah, it does. A little
Yeah, but if you
chewed on
frame
that.
that, you'll never notice.
Right. So, talk about an oddity. As the oddities, the VX and VI were oddities themselves. Also branded. I guess the VI also is the Performa 600, one of the only Mac 2 to also be a Performa. But yeah, short-lived Mac, and therefore probably short-lived advertising for this too. So what do they want for this little poster here? Again, 2 by 3 feet, just $19.99 is the current bid. There is one bid out on it, so somebody does want to grab this. It has 6 days to go, ends on Saturday.
Well, I mean, for that cheap, even if it's not like a big name model or anything like that, it's $20 for old school Mac poster. Yeah, very reasonable.
All right. We're talking about
All right,
iMega later.
Yeah, next up, we have a Zip 100 external portable SCSI drive for PC or Mac. Right now price $47.50. For us from California, shipping is $20. Comes with the iOmega SCSI cable. It comes with 2 100 meg zip disks, and it comes with the power supply. So as long as everything's working with it, you are good to go. It doesn't mention anything about them testing it. I do see this even still has the sticker over the plastic showing how to actually insert the disk into the zip drive. Of course, mine
Oh, the
on
window
mine, it was
there.
peeled off. The little window, yeah, that's a little peel off one of those kind of static decal sort of things.
Yeah.
So thing looks in great shape.
Yeah, I was curious. We're going to be talking more about these things, of course, about what the availability is and pricing, and they are pretty available. And this is around what at least what they're being listed for. You might be able to find something cheaper. This one's nice that it includes everything you need instead of it's just the bare drive, no media, or
Sure.
whatever. Missing a cable or whatever. You got everything
Right.
here. I guess the big question is, whether or not this thing actually works. Because of problems they have, as we'll talk more about later, right? So, and if it doesn't work, well, that's just money right down the toilet. So, I don't know. It seems like there's a pretty substantial risk buying used zip drives unless they were tested. So, anyway, you just have to be careful. All right. And then finally, look at this treasure trove of vintage Apple stuff. Oh my gosh. John, I'd like to see you wearing all this stuff.
Yeah, I would look fantastic in those shorts.
The description
Yeah.
says, I worked at Apple back in the 80s and 90s as a sales rep, recently cleaned out the closet for some downsizing and found some vintage Apple gear from all of the sales team events and conventions I attended. Overall, the items are in good condition for their age. Everything you see in the picture is included. These are used, but not abused. May show some minor signs of use and minor fraying. So you've got a large red t-shirt that says SWAT, which stands for not Special Weapons and Tactics, but Sell with Apple Training. Okay. And then you've got, and there's no rips or stains. That was from a training event in the early 90s. There's a white bandana with the rainbow, the 6-color Apple logo, 21 by 21 inches, no rips or stains. That's pretty sharp. That was from a Hawaii sales trip. There are some size extra large navy blue corduroy shorts with the Apple logo and sharks embroidered on it. No rips or stains. And then an Apple reunion pennant flag from a reunion event in '89. A Pascal Power embroidered patch.
Yeah,
from the
that
80s.
one's
So that's
very interesting.
that's not an Apple thing. That's is it?
I
Let's
mean,
see. Let's zoom in on that thing here. Enhance. Yeah.
I don't see anything that shows
Pascal Power. I don't see any
Pascal,
Apple logo or anything.
right. So I mean, obviously, I'm assuming it's talking about the programming language.
Yeah.
Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so there's a shot of the handkerchief with the Apple logo. It looks a little
Wonky.
elongated. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's got a
it's
nice handmade feel about it.
But it definitely is the droopy butt logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that T-shirt says "Breakthrough 5 billion." I'm assuming that's 5 billion gross sales at that time. And let's see, we got the little pennant, the shorts. Look at that; those are great with the sharks on it and the embroidered 6-color Apple logo with the Mater Tectura.
Tectura, very nice.
How
yes.
Awesome is that? That they were still, making some materials like that then. And
I find the fact that they corduroy shorts just seems like a weird.
Well, that was the 80s.
Fabric choice for
corduroy. Those are shorts too.
I suppose with the shorts, you don't have to worry about getting that weird zip, 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 zip noise when you're walking around in them because no pant legs to rub against each other like
almost no pant leg at all.
Maybe
there's about 1.5 inches of pant leg there. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. What do they want? Oh, well, $250 is the buy it now, or you can make an offer. $250. Well, they do have make an offer. Some neat stuff in there. I don't know. Well, we'll see if they get it next week. All right. Anybody bid on that yet in the chat? Anybody keen on those corduroy shorts?
Yes, the gathered elastic waistband. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, no belt needed.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch over here. Switch to a different screen. All right. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay, iOmega. Where do we begin? Well, the first thing you want to do is you go to iomega.com. And this, as big as iOmega was, you go to iomega.com and it's like it never existed, right? I mean, sure, there's
yeah.
Lots of stuff you can find on the internet, but when you go to iomega.com, you get this, which is what do we call that? It's like a parking lot holder for the URL. Eventually, Lenovo would own the rights to everything But they wouldn't even bother to make that just a forwarding point to their site, or, I mean, how much money would it cost just to do something here? So instead, you're given a nothing, like it's just gone, erased. So whatever happened to iOmega? Well, the most recent news by Lenovo themselves talks about how the remaining iOmega products back in 2013 were rebranded to Lenovo EMC, and some over to the software products, I guess, or network storage products over to Acronis. And that was June 11, 2013. That was the end of anything with the iOmega name. What's cool about this news release, though, is they do have a little bit of history. A salute to the iOmega brand. It's sad that a company with decades and decades of products, all the great history of it. This is it. Boils down to a dozen lines summarizing the achievements. iOmega sold
slide of bullet statements.
Nothing.
Yes.
This is the salute you get. This is it. iOmega sold more than 430 million digital storage drives and disks, 150 patents, sold all over the world. Of course, the iOmega zip drive marked a quantum leap in portable storage when it debuted in 95. And then they had, of course, other products as they tried to lean into the whole network storage business.
Did I see up toward the top where they mentioned that at one point iOmega was also doing NASA's?
Yes, they were.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think those were some of the remaining products that they got shifted over into Lenovo's portfolio. Yeah. But where did it begin? iOmega began way back in 1980, founded in Roy, Utah. I guess it was a spinoff of IBM. Former employees, maybe from IBM. And they started doing the Bernoulli drives. Did this for many years. Here's a picture of a disk. This is a way later, one of the last of the Bernoulli. They called it the Bernoulli box, a 230 meg version.
How big do you think that is? Do you think that's like roughly the size of the old SideQuest?
It's close to a floppy disk drive.
Really?
I don't think it's as big as the SideQuest. It's a little smaller. They started off in 10 meg, I think was the original. They did these for many years, and they made a business out of it. They also had this tape drive. Do you remember this? The Ditto. Okay. This one came out right before the zip drive. So,
that was for just, I'm assuming with the name Ditto, it's just like more for backup. It would.
Okay. It's gonna be slower, right? Mm-hmm. Larger capacity, probably cheaper media. But it was this guy that really turned everything around.
Oh yes.
Yeah. The zip drive launched in 1994. Gave us 100 megabytes storage and a removable disk. The competition, or what we were using back then, was the floppy disk, 1.4 megs. And now you got nearly 100 times that. Now, cost more, but it fit this space between floppies, which were very slow, very cheap, very low capacity, and hard drives. And the hard drives were very fast, pretty expensive, and lots of capacity. But now you had something that, with this, fast enough, right? It was not hard drive fast, maybe half, a quarter, right? But fast enough, and way faster than floppies, and of course 100 times the storage. So it was like hard drive like capacity and hard drive like speed, but removable. Mm-hmm. And in this day, when you didn't have high speed internet everywhere, CDRW was not really a thing yet. This is the way you went, and so it was huge. Like, these things, $200 for a drive, which is about $370 or so today. Discs were like $20 each, and it got so big that.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, you could buy the drive, but the other, of course, nice thing was starting like with the blue and white G3 is, or actually, even the beige G3s built-in
Page 33
zip drive
desktop.
in your new
Yeah.
Macs. Yeah.
Mine, I got mine. I don't know if it's on camera behind me.
Oh,
Has
now
the
I'm trying
built-in
to
zip
remember
drive.
what the first one where it would have been built in, because I think the 6400 also, the
It
6400 had
did.
an option. So,
Yeah.
pre
Maybe that was the
G3.
first one.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the
I'm
first
trying to
one.
read.
Yeah.
So personal experience on that is when I was taking graphics classes out at the local college here. I had my G3 at that time, and of course, being able to bring my stuff, my class homework back and forth from their lab to work on it at home, having a zip drive, of course, made that way easier. So sorry.
Yeah, they got really, really popular in anything large file sizes, graphics, publishing, all that. Garth thinks that it was the 7600, 8600, 9600 series that had a zip option. Is that right? Huh? Yeah, I don't have one. Oh, I took that back. Nope. I was thinking I may have had one with a zip built-in, but I don't. Yeah, so a lot of OEMs, not just Apple, other companies were including these built-in. And let's see, what else do we want to say about it? Well, it was SCSI that you needed for the Mac. Of course, there was a version for the PC as well.
Yeah,
And
that was the cool thing is
yeah,
you had a parallel version, you had a SCSI version, and of course later on you had a USB version. So,
right.
if you were trying to move back and forth, just stuff like a decent amount of information between PC and Mac, and that was a way to go.
Yeah, here's my USB version. Oh, so there's the zip media compared to a floppy disk, right?
Yeah,
Of
just
course they even had
nice.
When the iMac popularized
Yep.
translucent plastics. Of course, Omega got on board and made a USB zip drive. All right, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there were other versions that followed. The 250 followed in 1999. You had a SCSI version and a FireWire version, and the Zip 750, which was USB 2, and all those were backwards compatible with the other discs. But there was a problem that arose. Now, I don't think this was huge for the downfall, although it didn't help.
Is this where we're going to start talking about the automatic driver update? Oh,
I was going to talk about that.
Yes. yes.
Which you just experienced today.
All right. So I was going to kind of go into the whole booting Mac Plus from the SCSI zip drive, and
because this was a big thing, right? Because even though the zip drives came out with the modern Macs at the time, people found out that you could use them with older Macs because they were SCSI, and with the right setup, they had drivers that were compatible all the way back to System
608.
Yeah, and then you could make it bootable. So go ahead. What did you try to do?
Well, so again, I had to kind of refresh myself on this because it's been a while. But basically, the thing is you need the iOmega driver that's 4.2. Okay, that's going to be what you're going to be able to use on your Mac. But the problem is if you had like a newer system that didn't have 4.2, it had 5 or later. If you took that zip disk and popped it into that system, it would automatically update the driver on your zip disk, thereby breaking the booting option on your old Mac. But of course, nowadays it's pretty easy to go ahead and get that driver back on if you had to. Unfortunately, yes, I was able to get the operating system, in this case 701, onto the zip disk, copied over great, started booting just fine, and then yes, I got it. I got the click of death. I did see where there's some details over on 68K MLA about fixing the click of death. So That
Is that
may be
right?
something I want
Well,
to
so
try.
what is the click of death? It's well, it makes that sound, but what's going on? It's like there's a buildup dirt and whatever on the heads, cause it to start. There's a misalignment. But apparently, there were even newer models because of quality control exhibit them fairly early on. And there was a class action suit. I don't know how that got settled, but there was one in 1998. I never personally experienced it. I had pretty good luck. But so is it true? Once you get the click of death, that's it. I mean, you don't even want to stick any other discs in there because it'll screw them up, right? It'll start chewing on your media, I think. But you can go in there and clean them and try to align it somehow.
Well, yeah. So yeah, you got the there was a problem with I just skimmed it because it was just this morning that I was playing with this. But basically, there's a bumper you can put in to stop the drive head from smacking back and forth, which is what it's doing. And then they were talking about cleaning the heads. The heads would get dirty and a couple other things. So it's not. This is no, but here's the thing: is I was going to do a very simple fix on my SCSI one back here because the plastic, the clear plastic window had popped in. It had come off. So all right, they're very easy to open, or were back in the day on the solid plastic ones, except of course it's got that 90s plastic brittleness now. So just trying to pry the little tab so the top could pop off.
Yeah,
thing is just shattered inside. It just like I had like lots of like little plastic confetti for little bits of like the plastic kind of alignment holders and stuff. It was not good. So let's hope you don't have to. I've got no problem getting into this one now. It's very easy to open because most of the latching mechanisms for holding the pieces of plastic shell together are no longer there. So definitely gonna try that out.
Yeah, Derek's theory is that the earlier drives are more reliable and that quality control went out the window when they were trying to keep up with demand. That I did read that they were they were popular and they could not keep up with demand. I think either the drives or the media. Actually, and I tried to find it here. I have an Epson branded zip drive.
Oh yeah,
that was my original one, and I've kept it all these years. And somewhere around here it exists. And yeah, it's been reliable for all this time. Anyway, so they are very helpful if you can get one that's not clicking on you.
I do love the fact that the click of death has its own Wikipedia entry.
Oh yeah.
That's
so. I think largely because of the click of death, PC World in 2006 named the zip drive as the 15th worst tech product of all time.
Oh,
it's
so sad.
Tough.
Yeah,
it is because when it was working, it was so good. And then, but funny enough, the next year they named it the 23rd best technology. So I don't. That's I guess they have an overlap between their best and their worst.
One more anecdotal thing about the zip drive is: do you remember how forcefully it would eject the discs?
I mean, sometimes it would shoot it out, right? You got to get a catcher's mitt there, and it just yeah. Well, let's. So, what happened to it? What happened? And as the zip drive went, that's as the company went itself. But so they had this model, and of course the variants, but and then the 250, and so they try to keep pace, increasing speed, increasing capacity, going to the 750. Somebody was in the chat was saying that they have a 750 in their computer.
I did not realize.
Yeah, with a metal enclosure. That's a sharp looking drive.
Gee whiz.
But this is what happened to sales. They just started going down. Snag this chart off the Wikipedia.
Well, obviously the USB thumb drives starting to come in.
USB thumb
Taking off.
drives. There's a combination of things, right? So you did have those
Yeah.
were starting to come in. They were pretty expensive. The capacity wasn't
Mhm.
too great, but really the big things that were impacting was the availability, the cheapness of CDRW. CDRW and CDR.
Okay.
So everybody had CD drives.
Sure.
CDRWs, they were expensive to begin with, the discs themselves, and they eventually came down to like pennies each. And so you had 650 megabytes there that was like dirt cheap, durable, just
Mhm.
easy to use,
Yeah.
could be read on anything because not everybody had a zip drive, right? But CD drives were universal. So that did it. More and more computers on networks where you could move large files. You didn't have to walk them across the hall, right, on something. So a combination of kind of all that just sort of just led to the less and less really the need. And even actually, hard drives getting cheaper and all that. And the
So
internet to
speaking of,
some degree, but still even by, this time broadband wasn't a huge deal back in the
did you
early 2000s.
speaking of the hard drive sort of models, Chalks was asking if did you look up any of the information on the Jazz drive side of things?
They did
That
have the
was more of
Jazz, was at a gig and
yeah,
then 2 gigs. Yeah, they had a larger
right,
capacity.
right.
I didn't go into
Yeah,
that
because
too
those
much.
are a real hard drive platter inside of those, similar to the
Yeah,
old SideQuest, right? Just
yeah.
smaller in size. Uh,
Those were pricey. I never owned a Jazz drive. Did you have
yeah,
one at work?
nor I.
No.
No.
Uh-huh. And they had other products too, where they even started getting into the CDRW business. They had their own CDRW. They had more pocket storage. They had interesting enough, they had the Click drive. Do you remember that? This tiny 40 megabyte drive that they wanted to use for portable devices.
Calling it a click drive is probably
Well,
not the
that was
best move
before.
for.
That was before the Click of Death, so they had to rename it to Pocket Zip as a
Oh,
result.
that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is surprising they didn't try to go into the like a USB stick, at all. I'm sure iOmega branded
Flash
USB thumb
drives
drives.
could have been a
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. The timing didn't quite work. I think they were
They
kind
were
of
already
fading
too
away. They did.
far gone.
Yeah, they did start pivoting towards, like we talked about, network attached storage, cloud-based services, desktop, backup solutions, that kind of stuff. They started moving that direction, but eventually sold that or got bought out, and the Omega name disappeared. But yeah, it's quite something how you can have something that was so prevalent everywhere, the zip disks everywhere, and now not even a website up there that remembers its name. But yep, they're still the retro community. Hey, they're great things to have. I have not seen. Is it possible? Does anybody know? I've only messed around with the 100s using with older Macs, but can you use 250s and 750s for older Macs? Will the driver support? Probably not, is my guess. I don't know if there's anybody's had any experience, but my guess is that if you wanted to boot like a classic Mac, you probably can only do that with a 100 megabyte based zip, right? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. All right, well, that's it dragged on longer than I thought, but that's iOmega and the zip disk. Derek says, for me, the death knell of the 96 megabyte formatted capacity is you can barely fit a MP3 clip on a single disk. It was time for the CD. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Not to mention, you could burn a full quality, full burn of an audio CD if you wanted to too on a CDRW. I never really used CDRWs much. Did you?
No.
They were always kind of
Again,
wonky
for
too. The idea that you had to open and close sessions and you know, I
yeah,
don't know. It just seemed like just writing to CDRs. They were so cheap anyway.
yeah. You would just write them once
Burn
and
another one.
then
Yeah. Don't
yeah.
worry about it. All right. Let's move along. We're going to do some news. Okay. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll talk a little bit of news here. We were talking about this guy, Matthias Echevarne, a few weeks ago, coming up with his own creations, a la sort of what NanoRaptor has begun. This is the Apple Newton Multimedia Desktop from 1995. It was the first experiment with the Newton OS as a light and fast alternative to the Mac OS. This is great. These are my favorite, the ones where it's not just an illustration, but it looks like the product sitting on somebody's desk.
Yeah.
Right. And so here you have it. Looks like it shares some features with the multimedia displays, with the built-in speakers, right? But it's got a nice CD-ROM and a floppy, not a zip, a floppy. It's on a pedestal rotating just there, and it's got a nice widescreen to display your Newton OS. I like that. It has the Newton logo there at the top.
The Newton branding on there is a very
you gotta
nice
have
touch.
that. So, do you keyboard and mouse this thing? I would guess. The idea of a mouse controlling the Newton interface would be kind of fun. I don't know that that's ever. I guess that can be done via emulation. But yeah, that I like that. And it's even got does it look like that's a current? I'm not sure. Is that the date? 2002. But yeah, that's. I like that. It's I don't. Do they actually put a CRT to display it was on an LCD? Or does this need to be that deep? You don't have a profile view of this, so hopefully it's only like 3 inches deep.
Well, if you've got a CD-ROM, that's at
least. Then you got to
6
extend it
inches
out,
deep.
right?
Right. Yeah.
The CD-ROM. So then that dictates this. So maybe it's kind of thin at the top and then goes out in the
chunky
back.
On the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mark over at MacEffects was posting the other day about new products over at MacEffects.com. Unfortunately, I think a lot of them sold out quickly. So
yeah, because I wanted to try to get one of those ribbons, a brand new ImageWriter 2 color ribbon cartridge. Yes, please.
Yeah, they sold out. So look at that. That could be they're coming. I mean, at least they. I want to see. I was going to say. I mean, does it mean that they might come back? Probably they could.
I hope so. Yeah.
But yeah, those were available briefly. Some of the other things that are still there include.
Yeah, I was very happy
badges.
to see that those 2E cases are still available. There's still some of the SE30 cases available on sale for $250.
The clear cases, yes.
Right.
Yes, and then a lot of new refurbished badges.
Badges, yeah.
And so, tell me, do you remember? Are these are like original badges that have been? Yeah, they
cleaned up or.
Well, here's the refurbishment process. An old, damaged original badge is melted down.
Oh, wow.
Really? Then stamped into a steel mold. Then it is rolled, polished, brushed, dye colorant is added, and then a 3mm adhesive is applied and cut.
What?
So
that's crazy.
Is that really what goes on to this? It sounds like a lot of work for $9.
Yeah.
They're on sale here. I should be replacing my badges if mine are chewed up at all. They're even running a little bit of a sale. So they got a lot of Apple II badges, including badges specific. Well, the Bell and Howell version.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe you just want to convert yours to a Bell and Howell, paint it black, and add that. Disc 2 badges. You get your. I like this. Even the Bell and Howell refurbished Disc 2 badge. And then there's some Mac stuff too, and even Apple III. So, yeah, a lot of great things there if you need that to fix up your case. Let's see. And I just want to check in. Last week, last week we finished the show like a couple of hours shy of when Jimmy's Apple One auction concluded. And it did wind up going for a winning bid of $340,100 after 112 bids. So there you go, 340,000. Hope he's happy with that. I think it went to I think I read somewhere it went to a collector, well, which would make sense. I think somebody that maybe even had another Apple One. But don't be sad for Jimmy. He's still got another Apple One for his collection. So this was a backup. All right. Okay, let's see. You had something to share with us?
Yeah. All right. So
here, let's close the episode and then we'll.
Okay.
Let's do an outro. And then
first of all, for next week, do we want to try to do that Giant Citizen? Oh, what was
Giant
the name of it?
If you want to give that a go, yeah, you're gonna try another old game for us.
Kabuto or
Citizen Kabuto, something like that.
Yes, Giants. Okay. Citizen Kabuto.
Okay, all right, sure. I also might try to get a hold of Jimmy and see if he'll come on the show. Talk about that whole whirlwind tour he had with the Apple One. That would be awesome. So I'd like to hear more about that.
Oh, we'll hope for that one, and if not, we'll do the
Okay, let's close it. And right. 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, let's see what's going on next week. I just mentioned maybe if Jimmy and his Apple One want to tell that whole story. I'll have to shoot him a message. He took that Apple One that was for auction on a world tour to include eBay headquarters and who knows where else. Maybe I can get him to tell us the story of that whole saga. Barring that, John, you're going to try another game for us?
Yeah, this one we ran across in one of the Mac Addicts. It is Giants Citizen Kabuto. Sounds like a fun game. It's one I've never played. I've known about it, but yeah. So figure I'll give that a try. Give my my G4 Tybook workout and load this game in. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Anything else? Well, if you're not already, you should be checking us out on YouTube. Watch this thing live. We do extra stuff sometimes. We're about ready to share. John's going to share something here in a minute with the YouTube live audience. But we're here most Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back again next week. Until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. So what are you going to show us?
Oh, so besides playing with zip disks yesterday and being very frustrated, I was also working on I've got an Apple IIe color monitor that had a crack in the plastic. I decided to take apart and see if I could glue it from the inside. Mm-hmm. Now it's got two tones of plastic or so I thought, right? Until I was trying to get some marker off the side. There we are. And realized that the other color plastic it's paint. It's the same color plastic. It's actually a single piece, even though it looks like two separate pieces. It's got a very defined seam there, right? Mm-hmm. No. It's a single piece of plastic, back painted. So you can see where I was trying to remove some marker and started to take the paint off.
Yeah.
So just a word of warning: if you're doing some heavy cleaning on one of these, be careful because you will take the paint off.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, anything else we need to talk about?
I am good over here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you next week, and everybody else, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.